And I'll start. That's largely her because we've worked with a lot of the same people over the years. Everybody has a point of view they want to work with, but at the end of the day, Therese is actually largely the person who has lured them to us. So, and she put together the most incredible team ever since.
She's the first line producer I've ever worked with who has scheduled Comic-Con as though it was a Christmas. She's like, no, Comic-Con weekend, nobody's working. Usually we have deadlines.
So a question for Jose.
Yes.
Awesome designs for the show, so thank you for that. What were the unique challenges? You worked on a lot of shows, you've done some amazing stuff on Batman, on other shows. What were the unique challenges of Transformers with changing from vehicles to robots? Like, what was the design process like for you?
I think the first big challenge is, getting over the thought of the design Transformers. It's overwhelming.
What he said was, go ahead.
No? No? Yeah.
Hello? There?
Answer the mic.
Both mics? I feel like a dictator. What I was saying is, the biggest challenge at the beginning is just, overcoming the thought of designing Transformers. And, we have a big history of designs of very iconic characters and different variations of Optimus and Bumblebee and RC and whatnot. And it's just trying to decide which is the direction that we want to go for. And, the only way we do that is by just spending hours and hours drawing and meeting with Dave and Jeff and Dwayne and just trying to figure out what are the big elements about the characters. Originally, it's always personality. We start with the writing. We start with what type of character they're all going to be, and then from there it's just endless hours of drawing. And we have our final versions of the characters, but we have many variations that we go through. And they go, we look at the drawing and we pick the things that we like, we pick the things that we don't like. We look at the history, G1 version, the animated version, the movie version of things, and then just pick the most iconic elements that we want to keep, and then try to reinvent everything else. That's just from a design point, and then from a technical point, obviously, is the transformations. Is you design a cool character, and then you design a cool vehicle, and then you have to try to figure out how they kind of work together. And then the toys. It's somewhere in there. You have to figure it out. You have to do that, whatever design you do, that has to work for the animation and story purposes. Also has to be a great product that the fans are going to want, on their shelves and put things on.
Well, and speaking of, I remember before the show, I remember sitting in your office and there was a couple designs that you were really freaked out about. You were like, I don't know, when people see this, my career's going to be over, they're going to freak out.
No, I used to, and we were talking about Soundwave, was the one design that I was, because we decided to go with a particular type of vehicle, and it was sort of like a ninja that we're going to keep in the shadow. So with that, you want to go in a certain direction, but that direction is completely opposite of what's been done before. And I remember showing some of the guys in the crew and be like, hey, what do you think of this version of Soundwave? Like, the fans are going to kill you. Great, thank you. Yeah. So, like I said, there's iconic elements in the designs and throughout the history that you want to keep, but at the same time, you want to have the liberties to keep you something fresh and something that, at the end of the day, fits the stories, it's the personality of the character, and hopefully creates a great product.
Like I say, I think Jose did an amazing job of capturing the essence of each of the characters, where you just look at that lineup and each one sort of exudes its essence, and I think that was really a challenge. We knew where we wanted to go with the characters and the storytelling, and what that character's essence was, and we sort of felt strongly that among being a good transform, good design, et cetera, that you need to look at it and read the character. And I think we line up where it's one of the issues, the challenges we had initially was, again, we're moving so fast, it's a brand new relationship with Brandon and Alan and all those design guys who have tremendous wealth of experience and knowledge about Transformers in general. We were seeming to butt heads a little bit, and it results so quickly. What we learned was we're all TV people, we're all animation people. We start designing the character first. So the stand-up version, who is this character, what do they look like, what exudes their personality. Whereas for brand, quite often, because when they package the toys is often the vehicle, they sometimes start the vehicle first, and then kind of create a character out of that. So we found that there was a disconnect, went away very quickly once we realized that we're actually starting in different places, and if, sometimes we flipped and sometimes they flipped, it was that much easier to copy each other.
And Vincent, from a directing standpoint, you get to work on some awesome episodes. And Transformers Prime has so much action, so much character, so much comedy. Like, what's your favorite part about directing Transformers? Like, what are the moments of season 1 that you got to work on? Some of the episodes that stand out for you?
I think the thing that really hit me as a big moment was just the first episode that I directed, which was episode 5, that 5-parter. And, on my end, me and my crew of board artists, we take the writing and we storyboard it, put it together, we animate it with Wayne and Jeff and Wayne, and then we kind of let it go. So, and then we kind of let it go, and then I saw the completed thing as it aired after Polygon got their hands on it and did an amazing job, just amazing. Japanese studio. Exactly. And Brian Cowler's music and this final edit that these guys put together, and I was just like really just proud just to be a part of this crew. I can just genuinely say, I've been in this industry over 10 years on a lot of different shows, and this is definitely the highest degree of talent in one studio, and I'm just very proud to be part of that.
Awesome.
Thanks very much.
I should point out that you may laugh, but Polygon, our partner on My Friends Tigger and Pooh. So there.
I'm telling you, they do awesome action. Well, a question like all of you guys before we open it up for some Q&A. So what was the thing that surprised you? I mean, we talk a lot about the 25 years of history of Transformers, but what we don't talk about as much is that you guys are really adding a whole new chapter. You guys are bringing a lot of newness to it too. I mean, there's new characters that nobody expected were going to become huge, like Knockout. So what were the things that surprised you guys about the show? Or did you guys just know it was going to be awesome?
It's going to be great.
I was surprised by the Emmy nominations you guys got.
Six Emmy nominations, 2 Emmy wins.
Because when I did the movies, I was expecting an award, and I didn't get it. So for the show finally got us some critical recognition.
Your career is going to go a whole new place now.
I'm so excited. I'm getting a lot of calls.
I was surprised at how really cool Arachne is as a character. The first episode I worked on that. It's like, I wasn't sure, but really awesome.
It's been great to see in terms of like the early stages with design and the voice acting, the personalities of the characters with the animation that Polygon was doing. It just everything really came together at the end. It was very surprising because you have an idea that everything is kind of working well, but once you see it on the screen, it's just wow, everything just kind of fit into place.
Well, the one character I was thinking was Ratchet. I wasn't sure about in the beginning, always the medic and all this stuff. We brought in Jeffrey Combs, who obviously he took the writing these guys were doing and takes it to a different level and almost reads it differently than you might have originally thought the line was read. But it's just really taken that character. He's one of my favorite characters in the show. I love everything Ratchet does.
From Mars. I think the biggest surprise for me, again, having done a number of series, was how quickly the cast fell in love with each other. I think that largely started because we brought Peter and Frank back together again. Those two guys literally love each other, and we're so happy. Maybe I should rephrase it. And to be in a room together for 4 hours a week. That kind of trickled down to the rest of the cast immediately. And I think we've all said this to each other, and you probably even read it before. At the first record, they were already clicking. They were already choosing to hang out even after they had wrapped their part. They were already making plans to get together after the record. And that hasn't changed. This cast, for those of you who worked BotCon and saw the live script reading we did, that cast would hang out together all the time. And that actually...
And if you want to see them, it's Crazy Girls on Sunset. Wait, no. That's true.
So I'm assuming that you guys have a couple questions, stuff you want to know, things you want to find out.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, can we call out the crew a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So hang
Those of
tight.
you who work on Prime, will you please stand up for just a second?
One of our Emmy winners.
Everywhere else,
The miniseries that opened the show
how do you
was
always get
awesome
to be first in line? How does that happen?
because it's my business to do it, and I'm that darn good.
Wow. That is serious. Shoot.
The 5-part miniseries that opened the show was awesome. So how about doing another 5-part miniseries in the second season, because we don't have enough of these on action cartoons anymore.
5 nearly killed us. Quite honestly.
You have to die for your art, Mr. Klein.
In fairness, a little part of me dies every day.
And just to be clear, Hasbro agrees with that statement. At least when it comes to Mr. Klein.
We will be doing, actually for our season ender, we are building to a multi-part arc that I think people will be very happy with.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Bring back the rock.
Which feeds
Which actually feeds into a multi-part arc that opens season 2, which then feeds into a season-long arc. Like, things start out of control in season 2 and never let up for anyone who is looking for more backstory or more of the mythology. It's all there, it's coming, you're gonna flip.
Tell me about Steve Bloom.
Sorry?
Steve Bloom, the voice actor.
Right there.
Seriously? Amazing.
Right there.
Amazing. Voice actor. You die happy.
Hey Steve, can you give us a little Starscream real quick?
Sorry, it's just trying to call Megatron. Anyway, the following question is brought to you by the Cold Party of Cybertron. That's short for Autobot leadership.
That's awesome. I literally have no words to respond to that.
You've got Peter Cullen, you've got Frank Welker. As a Generation 1 fan, I appreciate it. Will you be bringing other Generation 1 fan voices over?
I think it's within the realm.
I think it's a possibility.
I said bring Greg Berger on.
But not Greg Berger, no way. No. I'm kidding.
We love Greg Berger.
Megatron's grab.
We apparently don't need Greg Berger.
We don't need it.
So, maybe we'll have the money for that when the toys come out.
And the toys,
Just watch the panel about the toys. They're awesome. Oh, are they coming out?
yeah.
Right.
That's good now.
Are you planning on doing a crossover series with another show, Bob?